Welcome to the Mind Over Money podcast with Jessen James.
Hey everyone, it's Jessen James here and welcome to another episode of Ask Me Anything. So I hope you are enjoying the series so far. I've been doing these for my viewers and my followers and anybody that likes to ask me anything. And it's just me giving up some time, giving something back to you guys. So welcome to this episode. I hope you guys are well. So we're going to dive straight into it because there's a lot to cover on this episode, but some really juicy questions. And if you're new to this show, what typically happens is people get to ask me anything, like anything, advice. I'm your agony uncle, if you want to call it that. People ask me anything to do with business, marketing, sales, mindset, their profession, their relationships. There's just so many things that you can ask me. So if you want to ask me a question on this show, feel free to comment down below and ask your question, and hopefully my team will pick it up so that I can answer your question live next time I do an episode. So let's dive straight into this. The first question is, and we've kept the questions anonymous this time. Before we used to name people's names. Now that's great. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. However, we've decided to keep everyone anonymous because sometimes people ask stuff and they don't really want to be named. So I'm just blanket rule now. We're not calling out names. However, often I have a good idea of who's asked the question because I know a lot of you personally. And as always, I have no idea what these questions are. I just look at them now and I go through them. So let's get stuck in. First question. It's quite a long one, so I'm just going to have to abbreviate this quickly. Cool. Okay. So, hey, Jessen, I'm looking for another income stream. I don't know where to start. You're currently working as a driver, you've got a mobile DJ and technician business, and you do corporate PA services, etc., etc. You feel stuck in your mindset. You don't know which direction to take. You don't want to do a job, which is what you were doing before. So you want to know what to do next. Okay, so I know who you are because I know you. So I'm not going to name your name, like I said, for obvious reasons. But here's the thing. Anyone listening to this is not just for the person who's asked this question. Anyone listening to this right now, if you are at a crossroads in your life where you would like to move away from your job and start a business, here's what you need to do. Understand something. Your bills need to be paid first and foremost, right? Hence why you've got the job. It's so easy when people go, hey, just quit your job and start your business. Any person who ever tells you to quit your job and start a business, here's what you say to them. No problem. In the meantime, whilst I've quit my job, will you pay my bills for me? Now, of course, they're going to say, hell no. Exactly. Don't be an idiot and don't listen to idiots, okay? You never burn a bridge unless you really have to, but you've also got to have a coping mechanism after you've burnt that bridge. If you've got no way of paying your bills after you quit your job to go and start a business, it's already stressful starting a business. So why on God's earth would you give yourself extra pressure? So here's what you do instead. You leverage out of your job, but here's the problem. Unless you've got focus on what it is that you're going to leverage out from, into, should I say, then you're going to get stuck because everything looks good. Property looks good. Investing looks good. This business looks good. That business looks good. But I'm good at DJing, or I'm good at this, and I'm good at. Look, you've got to pick one niche and stick with that, and you go all out advertising and talking about it. Now, I often say to people who are in a job, just out of respect, because I'm an employer as well, always check with your employer that there are zero restrictions on you having another form of income or another job or starting your own business on the side. Because at the end of the day, if that's your main employment, I think it's disrespectful, first and foremost, not to tell your employer that your attention is elsewhere. I also think you need to be mindful of, if there's a contract in place, that you should be letting your employer know, okay? So check with your employer, as long as it's fine for you to do something on the side and it's not a conflict of interest, so that you don't get in trouble when you're marketing on social media and they start going, well, hang on, what are you doing over there? As long as it's all clear and transparent, then it's almost like you've got permission now to go and tell the world what it is that you do. So for the person asking that question, I would say to you right now, focus on what you love and what you're good at, which you've just said. You're good at DJing, you're good at PA, okay? Doing AV, stuff like that. So set yourself up as that person. That's all you do. And all the things that you post online, all the content that you post online, all the connections that you make, all the networking events that you make, go and tell people what it is that you do. And that's it. Don't talk about your job. Don't talk about it being, this is my side hustle. Hopefully I'll be doing it, full time one day. Don't, because you'll put people off. They'll think you're not serious. So let everybody know this is what you do. If you haven't registered your company yet as a limited company, go and do that ASAP, because it makes you feel better, because now you're a director of your own company. Get your business cards printed out, get your leaflets printed out, go out there and smash it, tell everybody what it is that you do. Don't worry about your day job. And last time I checked, most people party in the evenings. So you're not really going to be DJing during the day anyway. The only thing that you'll be doing during the day are corporate events, or even events, any form of event, whether that's a wedding event, whether that's a seminar or whatever. And a lot of these take place on weekends anyway. So take time out, book in your schedule, block out some days where you're available for hire, and get out there and keep on telling people what you do. You will find that you are a few deals away from actually replacing the salary that you're on right now. And I think you know that. But your problem is not what you do. Your problem is focus and commitment. So focus on the one thing and commit to getting yourself out there. Now, the problem with most people is they don't know how to get themselves out there. Well, let me tell you this. If you're listening to this right now and you're also in a situation where you need some help with getting your message out there, then here's what I'm going to get you to do. I want you to figure out, how can I present to people? How can I get my marketing message out to people in a way that is not salesy and pushy, but helps people to buy? And the best way you can do that is by educating people, not selling to people. And look, one of the things that I'm proud of at our agency, Client Converters, is we actually help people just like you put things together so that you can get out there and show people what it is that you do without having to sell to them. I want you to be like us, in a situation where we have people inquiring with us, coming to us rather than us chasing them. I don't know anybody watching this right now that would love to go out there and constantly seek clients all the time. No one loves doing that. Who likes doing that? I think all of you would love to wake up in the morning with an inbox of people who actually want to work with you. So they've come looking for you instead. Would you not like that? So this is what we do at Client Converters. We build you a sales presentation. We build you a sales funnel. We build you all your digital assets. We show you how to post on social media. We show you how to leverage technology. We show you how to use automations so that you can do this stuff on autopilot, so that you can focus on doing what you do best, which is running your business. But when I say to people, hey, look, I know it's an investment, and we're not talking big money, but it's an investment in your business. And most people still don't get it. They go, well, I'm going to learn how to do it myself. Stop learning how to do stuff yourself when you don't have the time to deploy it. Let me explain how successful people work. We pay people to use their time. We're about leverage. Leverage other people's time. There's 4 things that successful people leverage. They leverage time. They leverage other people, they leverage technology, and they leverage money. That's what successful people do. So you cannot be a boss with an employee mindset. I'll say that again. You cannot be a boss with an employee mindset. So stop trying to figure out, how am I going to do it on my own and this and that. No, go, right, I need some money invested into my business so that I can hire people like me. Like me, yes, I'm asking you to hire me right now. Yes, go and drop me a message or email my team. Let me do the work for you so that you've got the assets to go out there and sell. Because look, most people are worried about building a business in terms of setting up a website, a logo, a brand. Look, right now your bleeding neck problem is sales. Sales and marketing is your number one focus in any business until you get to a certain stage where you're able to scale. But when you're starting out, you need cash in the bank. So get yourself out there as much as you can. And if you want help with that, my friend, let us know. Okay? Brilliant. Next question. Again, where are all these long questions coming from? What's it with people nowadays? What are you doing? Anyway, right. Let me get into it. I'm gonna summarize this again. It's like an essay. Whoever asked me this question, I love you, but please keep them short. Okay. So, this is an interesting one. I manufacture pigeon products, Jessen. I've never worked with someone who's done that before. It's a very niche market. Yeah, I bet. You've got lots of ideas and you've been running around for 10 months now and you've excelled in the market. Okay, brilliant. Well, congratulations first and foremost, all right? You basically design it all yourself. Let me just read this quickly. Okay, look, you've got 2 issues here. One, You want to know how to get yourself out there more so people know what you do. Okay, fantastic. And you also want to learn more about how to get into international markets because you've got potential US and Australian clients and you're asking about whether you should do a franchise or something, or because you lost your business during COVID, you're unable to get funding because you had to declare yourself bankrupt, but you need some equipment and stuff and things like that. Okay, let me answer both of these questions easily. Okay, number one, marketing. Most people don't talk about what it is that they do, and especially when they've got a very super niche market like what you do. So the key is to show up in the right places. Now, I doubt very much you posting on social media all the time is going to bring you lots of different leads. You still need to do it. But what you need to do is go and figure out, and this is my advice for anyone doing marketing right now, where does your ideal audience hang out? Now, pigeon products. I actually have no idea what that means. But where do these people who buy pigeon products, because the pigeon isn't going to buy it, right? So, that's a good one. Anyway, my point is, yeah, pigeons don't buy stuff. But anyway, my point is, where does your ideal buyer hang out? And go and show up there. Is it a particular magazine? Is it a particular trade show? Is it a particular event? Is it a particular networking event? Where can you get in front of your ideal audience and show up? So you need to get out there and educate more people more on what it is that you do and why you do it the best, okay? And what problems do you solve and what qualifies you to do that work as well. Now, coming back to your other one about whether you should go international and franchise or not, this kind of ties in with your third part of your question, which is around having to declare yourself bankrupt, which I'm really sorry to hear. However, do you know what? Loads of millionaires declared themselves bankrupt before they became millionaires. So don't worry about it. Okay. It's part of life. All right. Part of life is failing. And look, if you're going to go out in style, but come back in style too. Okay. So here's what you can do. Bring on business partners. Now, people are reluctant to do this because they don't want to give away any of their business. And here's my response to people when they are afraid to do anything that will grow their business. Because it's, I don't know, things like giving away shares or having to bring in other people or partners or whatever. I always say to them this: are you here to groom your ego or feed your bank account? I'll say that again. Are you here to groom your ego or feed your bank account? And for most people, when I ask them that question, they go, actually, I want my bank account fed. Good. Because again, successful people think like this. If I'm missing something, for example, you're missing the ability to raise finance right now. Who can I bring on board that could raise finance, who's got good books, who's got good credit, who's got experience as well in a specific sector? Who can I bring on board and give them 20, 25%, 30% shares or whatever it is in the company? Because in my head, I'm going, I would rather own 70% of something super successful than 100% of nothing. Let that sink in for a second. So have a think. Who can you bring on board? I start going out there right now and looking for investors or partners, should I say, because you can't really go around saying investors all the time because you've got to be FCA registered for that. However, go and find partners who can help you with raising credit or getting credit lines or finding ways to fund your business. Okay, that's what I would do. The other thing I would look at in an international market is go, right, rather than go down the franchise route right now, because you've got to really establish your first business first, okay? If you want to go into the international market or get clients in different countries or whatever it is, find partners that you can set up a separate entity in that country with your business. Keep it for you right now. Don't franchise it out just yet. That's my advice. Get into those territories with a partner who's on the ground there and give them 50% if you have to. It doesn't matter. Just give them half the business or give them 40% of the business or whatever it is. Give them a good chunk so that they manage the operations out there, okay? And teach them how to do what it is that you do. So that's what I would personally do, okay? So sorry I don't have much more to add to that because it's a hell of a lot to answer in this short space of time. And I want to try and get through these questions as quick as I can, okay? So, by the way, if you're enjoying this, do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and smash out the notification bell so that you get notified every single time I go live, okay? And if you're watching live, I appreciate you guys. Just comment down below. Let me know you're here, all right? And if you're watching on a replay, let me know down below, okay? So I appreciate you guys so much. Question 3. I admire your work and I love meeting leaders like you. Can I ask what is the key to your success? Great. So, most people, by the way, thank you for the beautiful comment. Most people are looking for the golden nugget when it comes to success. What's the key? What's the secret formula? What is it? And sadly, and I used to be like this too, I used to think there was some kind of magic pill that you could take and become successful. And there was a magic formula or a magic strategy or something that I could do. Now, the problem with that is you're always looking for things externally. So what's the external key to success? Show me, Jessen. What's the key? How do you do it? What is the key? Now, the problem with that is it's external, right? And it's not where you should be looking. Now, this might sound a little bit woo-woo, but here's the genuine key to success, in my opinion. Yourself. Your mindset, your belief system, your value system, your behaviors, the way you show up. That's the key to success, not the strategy. If you've got the right attitude, they say there's a saying, right? Your attitude determines your altitude. Think about that. Your attitude determines your altitude. If you don't work on yourself, your mindset, how you show up, the way you look at things, your attitude, your tenacity, your morals, your ethics, your values, your belief system, if you don't work on all of these things, it doesn't matter what strategy you get given, or whatever technique you're shown for success, or what investment vehicle you're shown to become more successful, or whatever it is. It means nothing unless you've got the mindset to go and deploy it and work with it. Now, there's two reasons why you've got to have the right attitude and you've got to show up correctly in business. Number one, for yourself. Absolutely for yourself, right? Glass half full or glass half empty. If you're the kind of person that everything's always half empty, then you haven't got the right attitude. Why? Because you have a pessimistic attitude, not an optimistic attitude, which is required in business. Now, the second reason why you need to show up correctly in business is so that you attract better people. There's a saying, your vibe attracts your tribe. I'll say that again. Your vibe attracts your tribe. So if you're not vibrating on a certain frequency because you're negative and you're low energy and you're this, like, you are not going to attract opportunity, and people are not going to want to partner up with you or do business with you. I have built, I would argue, 80% of my wealth and 80% of my business affairs based on something called relational currency. What is relational currency? Is when you build key relationships with the right people and you attract the right people to you. And you know what the secret to that is? Let me tell you, having the right attitude and vibrating on the right frequency. Look, I know this might sound harsh, but I'm going to say it anyway. Why? Because you know I don't like to hold back any punches. If you are someone right now that is negative, pessimistic, low vibration, everyone's always against you, something's always going wrong, your life is always terrible, you're miserable, you're this, you're that, blah, blah. Anytime I give you a solution, you always have a problem for it. If you're that kind of person, stay away from me. Go and sort yourself out and stay away from me. Why? Because I don't want to be around that vibration, because you're going to drag me down with you. That might sound harsh, but look, here's another analogy for you. If someone's drowning in the water right now and you're not trained as a rescuer, what is going to happen if you go near that person? They're going to drag you down with them. So I'm going to keep swimming over here in the calm waters whilst you figure out your shit before I come and help you. That's how I operate right now. And you might think I'm being mean, but let me tell you something. Everyone has a choice. Every single person has a choice when it comes to raising their vibration. So if you're sick and tired of being that person that's always moaning all the time, always complaining all the time, always something's always wrong, then do something about it, because I promise you, no one's going to want to do business with you. And what's going to happen is you're going to end up attracting more low vibration people. They say you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So go and have a look at who's in your circle right now. And I promise you right now, there won't be any high flyers. No one wants to be around that energy. So sort it out. That's what I would say. So the biggest key to success is yourself. That's it. Work on yourself. All right. So great question, though. Amazing. So question number 4. What is the best way to get investors for property business at this present time? Look, everyone talks about When's the best time to invest in property? When's the best time? Should I do it now? Should I do it later? Should I do it next week? Should we wait a year? Is the market going to crash? Look, property works all year round. All year round. There's always a strategy that works in property. So if you want to raise investment for any property deals, you have to ask yourself this. Are you investable? Are you investable? Because I'll come on to the other thing that you need to do in a second. Because at the end of the day, I don't care how good your deal is. I don't care how amazing it is. If you are not the kind of person who finishes what they start, they're a serious player. They don't dilly-dally all the time. They get things done. If you're an action taker, if you're an implementer, if you like to do more than you talk, if you've got the right mindset, if you've got the right tenacity, you've got the right attitude, then yeah, of course, I'm going to want to work with you. But if you're not any of those things, I don't want to know. I don't care how the deal is. I have people throwing deals at me, not just property, all kinds of deals at me, left, right, and center all the time. And I just politely decline a lot of them. And it's not because I'm being mean. It's because the person approaching me, I'm not sure they're quite where they should be. They're either someone who's just done a course or stumbled across a deal somehow. And they're like, hey, Jess, you want to help with this? Like, can you jump on board? And you're trying to leverage me or my contacts or whatever it is, which isn't a problem because we're all leveraging each other. Of course we are. We're doing it to a certain extent. But I've got no space for people who are not serious. So are you investable? Are you dependable? Are you someone who finishes what they start? Are you someone who does what they said they're going to do? Because these are all things that I look out for personally, and that's what's going to happen. So the best way to find investors is to be someone who's investable, number one. Number two, investors will invest if the deal makes sense. That's it. You find a cracking deal, you will find people who want to invest in it. And that is part of the problem. Most people don't know how to find cracking deals. So this is not an episode about property, and I don't have time to go into all of that, okay? But here's the thing. If you find a great deal, then the money will come. I'm a big believer in that, right? Find a deal and the money will come. That's it, okay? So instead of you going, how do I find investors? Find deals. Go and find deals. Find deals first. Are you investable? Are you a serious person? Do you look the part? Do you show up? Are you professional? Do you know what you're doing? Show up. When I say show up, I'm talking about how you look, your digital assets, your social media presence, your website. Are you serious? Because anyone who just goes out and looks on Rightmove and finds a deal, but they've got no freaking social media following, they've got no presence online, they've got no website, they don't look the part, they show up to meetings with a notepad and a pen that they nicked from the hotel down the road. Like, I ain't got time for people like that. So think about it. You need to be the part. Show up, be the part. Find good deals. Really important. And the third thing to get investors on board, this is super, super important, is know how to pitch. Know how to pitch. Most people don't. That's why they're going, how do you find investors, Jess? You need to learn how to also pitch. How do you sell? How do you close people on your deal? Because there's no point going, well, the numbers stack. Yeah, well, no shit, Sherlock. Yes, the numbers stack. But why should we invest with you? What's in it for me? These are all things that are super important. So you've got to be clear. Confused people don't buy. And an investor is a buyer. They're deploying funds into a particular project. They're buying something. They're buying shares in your SPV, your limited company, whatever it is. They're buying stuff. So they're investing. So you've got to help them to buy. But confused people don't buy. So get your act together. Are you investable? Find good deals. Learn how to pitch. And if you want help with pitching, comment down below and my team will send you some help for you to be able to do that, okay? Most people don't like investing in learning how to sell. That is utter madness. There's two skills every single person needs to master right now. Number one, how to speak and communicate and articulate themselves. Number two, how to sell. You have these two skills, which I possess in abundance. Here's what's going to happen. You'll never worry about money again. You'll have people gravitating to you left, right, and center. That's what's going to happen. You'll become a more powerful human being. You'll have more status, more respect. Yes, more money as well, but people will look at you in a different way. When you show up in the room, people feel your energy. That's how I roll. And I want you to roll the same. So stop telling me, like, where can I find investors, Jess, when you are not investable yourself and you don't know how to find good deals and you don't know how to pitch. Now you might go, but Jessen, I do know how to find good deals. Fantastic. Are you a dependable person? Are you investable? Do you know how to pitch? It's a triangle. If those three things don't go together, I don't care how good you think you are not going to get investors. So you might go, but Jessen, no, I'm serious, man. I've been doing this a while. I'm investable. I've got great deals to hand, but then you don't know how to pitch. The triangle falls apart, right? So that's my biggest advice I can give anyone, all right? Number 5. I hope you're enjoying this, by the way. Please give me some love down below for those of you watching live, and anybody watching on a replay. Let me know your thoughts so far, okay? You're going to like this one. We're changing the tone slightly. This one's about relationships. Ooh, I've got a love heart on me, by the way, just so you know, as you can see. I just looked like I was rubbing my nipple then. That's completely inappropriate. Sorry. If there's kids watching. Sorry, kids. Anyway, right. Jessen, I hope you can offer some advice in a situation that's been troubling me. Recently, my ex got back in touch. Dom. Was it a drunken text? An ex text? I just made that up. Does that make sense? An ex text. My ex got back in touch and expressed a desire to rekindle our relationship. Ah, how lovely. However, our past relationship didn't serve us well. And I know deep down that they weren't right for me and I wasn't able to give them what they needed from me. Despite my current unhappiness with my situation, I recognize that I can't give my ex what they want from me. I'm feeling conflicted and unsure of how to proceed. How should I handle this situation, Jessen? And what steps can I take to make the best decision for my well-being and theirs? Tell Uncle Jessen. Like I'm some kind of relationship guru. Well, you know what? I know a lot about relationships. I do. So, look, anyone watching this right now who is in a situation where they are about to maybe go back to their ex. And this is very common. Now, there are scenarios where it works and there are scenarios where it doesn't work. Let me give you a scenario where it works and then I'll give you a scenario where it doesn't work and I'll share my stance on it, okay? So where does getting back with your ex actually works? Between the time that you have both split up, have you both matured and changed your level of thinking? Because that will depend a lot on whether your relationship will work again. You see, often people split up. They haven't worked on themselves. They haven't matured. They haven't grown. They haven't fixed their own stuff. And then they get back together and they repeat the cycle and repeat the patterns. If you break up, you got to look at, well, what are the reasons that we broke up for? Work on yourself, because often when, as they say, like one of my mentors told me years ago, my mentor, David Shepherd, he said, look, when you point one finger at someone, Jessen, there's 3 fingers pointing back at yourself. So it's very easy to blame, but there's always 3 fingers pointing back at ourselves. So have you worked on yourself before you go back into this relationship? Have you fixed what it is that made it not work in the first place? And you can't keep blaming your partner. It's not always their fault. There's something about you as well that attracted them into your life in the first place. So you can't always blame them. So in order for it to work, you must have had significant time apart to actually work on yourself. But the people who break up this week and they're back together next week and break up again and then they're back together the next month and this and that, it's too volatile. No one's had any time to work on themselves. And I'll explain why they do it in a second, but that doesn't work. So you've got to have some time apart. You've got to have some time apart. Have you had that time apart? Have you both grown? Have you both matured? If the answer is no, then I probably would say, well, that's probably not going to work, okay? Now, let's look at scenarios where it doesn't work. I already touched on it slightly, but let me explain in more depth. It doesn't work if you're completely on 2 different pages. Even if you've had time to figure stuff out and grow and mature. Now, I'm speaking from experience. Okay? My ex-wife, okay? We went through a lot during our divorce and it was a big strain on our relationship and it was very, very difficult. And it was a lot of love and a lot of hate and a lot of stuff going on and it wasn't a nice experience for anyone. We've got to a stage where that happened so long ago that we have both matured to a certain extent. However, we also have matured to the point where we really actually understand that we weren't meant for each other. And we get that and we understand. So when you've had that time to mature, you'll also realize whether you're supposed to be with someone or not. So often once you've had that space, you'll go, hey, this isn't going to work. So, hey, I love you as a person, but I'm not in love with you. And I don't think that's going to work. So that's really, really important. The other way it's not going to work is what I just said a minute ago, okay? If it's too volatile, if you already know that, hey, things aren't going to work, it's just, there's no point. We're just going to go back and repeat the cycle. And we're getting together because we're lonely and we're feeling a bit insecure right now. That's the only reason we're getting together. It's not because we know we can make it work. It's just we've got unmet needs. We're feeling a bit lonely. We're feeling a bit insecure. Our self-esteem's on the floor. That's why we're coming together again. And we're just going to break up again. It's going to be a cycle and cycle and cycle. Then don't do it. Now, there's a saying, and this is going to hit hard to some of you right now who are thinking about getting back with their exes. There's a saying, when you're walking around in a forest and you pass the same tree twice, it usually means you're lost. Say that again. When you're walking around the forest and you pass the same tree twice, it usually means you're lost. So, I think you might be lost, if I'm very honest. You already answered your own question, I think. You think you couldn't give them what they want. They couldn't give you what they want. You want to do what's best for you and your well-being and theirs as well. Walk away. Stay friends. That's what I will personally do. That's my advice, but I can't make that choice for you, okay? But what a powerful question, and thank you for asking it, okay? Thank you so much. All right, next question. Question number 6. What does trust in a relationship and what does trust mean in a relationship, and how do you build it? Look, I think the word trust gets thrown around too much. And whilst there's an element of you having faith in people, you also have to trust people to be themselves. This is really, really important. So whether it's a personal relationship or a professional relationship, you have to trust people to be themselves. So, for example, let me give you an example. If you're in a relationship right now with someone, intimate relationship, and that person cheats on you, but you decide actually to give it another go and stay with each other, in the back of your mind, you've always got that, well, what if they do it again? But no, they wouldn't do it. They promised they wouldn't do it again. So I trust them now. They won't do that to me ever again. Well, here's where you're kind of letting yourself down. You need to trust people to be themselves. Be themselves. Now, if that person has a history of cheating, then chances are that that's just part of who they are. Now, I'm not here to judge. I'm not getting on my moral high horse here and saying that you should be monogamous and all that. It's your life, boo boo. Do you? I don't care. Okay. But what I'm trying to say is trust someone to be themselves. So that way you don't get disappointed if they do it again. But if you put your faith in them and you trust them to never do it again, then you're going to get hurt if they do it again. So you always trust people to be themselves. So in relationships, there's these phases that relationships go through. And in the honeymoon period, that's the best one. I love you. Like everyone's like, oh my God. Like you're on the phone with them for like 24 hours. It's like, you're speaking to them for hours and you're like, it's late now. Should we go? Yeah, no, you hang up. Oh, no, you hang up first. Oh, no, you hang up first. Oh, go on, you hang up. No. Okay, let's do it together after 3. That soon wears off. Okay? So think about it like this. There's that honeymoon phase that happens. Then there's that interim phase where you start to get used to each other a little bit more. And there's that long-term phase where, you start to understand each other a lot more, all right? It's not until you get to that phase that you really understand who someone really is. Because in the beginning, it's a sale. You're trying to impress the other person. You look a certain way, you dress a certain way, you show up a certain way, you're opening doors, you're buying flowers, you're buying this, you're doing that, whatever it is. That's a pitch. And once you got the deal sealed, you start to relax on those things. Now, that's not a bad thing because selling is selling. Look, if you don't put yourself out there and attract people, you're not going to get the right people. But here's the point. You must give people time to show you who they actually are, because the first part is just the pitch. Think about it. So don't get blindsided into thinking that, hey, this person's amazing, they're this, because that all changes at some point. I'm not saying for everyone. Okay, I'm just saying for most people, that all changes. You know what I mean if you're listening to this, okay? So my point is, when you are out there in relationships, is give people time to show you who they really are. Because often you get into relationships and people go, oh, you've changed. I don't believe people change. I don't believe people change. I believe people become who they really are. That's it. So if they start off great, but then they go bad, then they were actually bad to start off with. They were just pitching to you. They were covering stuff up. That's my opinion. So it comes back down to trust. Trust people to be themselves. That's it. Because I genuinely feel when you trust everybody, you get disappointed. Now, don't get me wrong. I have faith in relationships that I have. There are relationships around me, both personal and professional, that I have faith in. Like I've got business partners and I've got team members that work with me that I've got absolute faith in them having my back. And I've got trust in them to be themselves. And what that basically means is they have characteristics that make me want to trust them because that's them being who they are. And they've shown me that. I know there's people who've got my back. So it's not me having trust in people. I'm trusting them to be themselves. So if you're a good person, if you're dependable, if you're someone that shows up, like my kids know they can trust me to be who I am because I'm a provider. I'm always going to have food on the table for them. I'm always going to have their backs. I'm always going to look after them. I'm always going to support them. I'm their dad. I'm going to show up for them. So it's not about trusting me as their dad. It's trusting me to be Jessen. Trust me to be who I am. That's what I do. So have trust in people being themselves, good and bad. Trust a snake to be a snake. Trust a lion to be a lion. That's it. That's what you should be doing. That's my 2 pence worth on trust in relationships. So great question, whoever asked it. Okay. Number 7. These are a lot of relationship. Have I turned into the relationship? Who are like these relationship talk shows? Maybe I should start my own love show, like relationship advice show. Who reckons I should? Let me know in the comments below. Do you think Jessen should start his own talk show on relationships? What do you reckon? Let me know. You'd you turn up? Would you come to it? Would you be a member? Would you participate? Would you like to be on the show? Let me know down below in the comments. And if you're just tuning in, welcome. If you're watching this on a replay, I love you. I appreciate you. Make sure you like, subscribe, smash the notification bell as well, and share this video with as many people as you can, because I'd love people to get more of this knowledge that I give away for free. So, question number 7. How do you approach forgiveness in a relationship, and what helps you move past hurt? Great question. So, look, I'm going to talk about forgiveness in general because it's not just about relationships. Forgiveness in general. Why do we forgive in the first place? Now, most people think that you're forgiving the other person. No, wrong. You forgive for yourself. Why? Because you no longer wish to have this burden of hurt and hatred hanging over you. That's why you release it by forgiving people. But here's the problem. Most people find it hard to forgive. In fact, let me know down below. Like, give me a yes down below if you're watching live or even on a replay. Let me know down below just by saying yes or yes, I find it hard to forgive down below if you've ever experienced that before. Now, let me explain why. People find it hard to forgive people or situations because of this one thing here: acceptance. We find it hard to accept that that person has wronged us. We find it hard to accept that this situation has occurred. And because we find it hard to accept, we don't forgive. Think about it. So what can we learn from that? It's very, very simple. In order for the healing journey to begin, in order for the forgiveness journey to begin, you must first accept. When you accept that something's gone, you release it. When you release it, you can start healing. So, for example, if someone's wronged you in a relationship and you're finding it hard to forgive them right now, accept it has happened. You can't turn the clock back like most of us are going, I can't believe it happened. It happened. Okay? Wake up. It happened. So stop doing this, I can't believe it happened, because it just actually happened. Now, it might sound brutal, but accept it. It's happened. So when you accept it, you can start to forgive. And remember, you're not forgiving them, you're forgiving them for you, so you can have your own peace. Because I want to tell you something. Don't you ever give your power away to anyone. I'll say it again. Don't you ever give your power away to anyone. You deserve better than that, and you freaking know it. You know you do, right? So you've got to accept for the healing process to begin. So in any relationship right now, whether someone's wronged you or whatever it is, blah, 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 you have to choose. Accept it's happened, let go and move on, okay? Now, there's another little thing on this before I move on to the next question, because I've got to wrap these up real quick. there's this whole saying in life, forgive and forget. Forgive and forget. I don't operate like that. Why? Because I'm not stupid, right? I forgive, but I never forget. And the reason why I don't forget is so that I protect myself from not being hurt again. I learn from it. When you forget, when you delete the pain, when you delete the challenge, when you delete what happened, you don't pick up any lessons from it. So never, ever, ever forget. I forgive, but I'm not forgetting that. Like, that's a mark for me. There's people in my life, or not in my life anymore actually, that I have forgiven for me. I released them for me. But I don't forget. There's people now that I still talk to. They've wronged me, we fell out, something happened, whatever. We're good, we've made up, we talk. I forgive them, I've released it, but I don't forget. There's business acquaintances where things haven't gone right before and they made some fundamental errors which were red flags for me. We ended the relationship. It's amicable. It is what it is, wherever it might be. I've forgiven. But if that person approaches me again and says, hey, Jess, we're going to business again. No, sir, because I haven't forgotten what happened last time. If I forgive and forget, I'll let you in again. And chances are I'm going to have to trust you to be yourself. And last time, you snaked me. So you're probably going to be a snake again. Think about it, okay? So that's my 2 pence worth on forgiveness. Next question. I hope you like that answer. Let me know down below if you like that answer on forgiveness. How do you balance individual needs and desires with the needs of the relationship? Look, this is turning into the relationship show, okay? I didn't even know what the questions were, and I'm wearing a heart on my chest today. This is really apt. But anyway, look, here's the thing. When it comes to managing individual needs and relationship needs, you have to understand something. Couples don't complete each other, right? There's this whole nonsense around my other half. Look at my other half. What half? What, you were born whole. You don't have a half. Like, no one completes you. In relationships, you complement each other. No one completes you. You complement each other. You both bring different things to the equation. Look, whilst we're on the topic, let's talk about men and women. Men, let me talk to you for a sec. If you are someone who brings zero value to your relationship, in a sense that you're actually a burden, you're a liability, you're not an asset. Your missus always has to run around cleaning up after you. She has to not only go to work and pay bills and stuff, but she also has to cook, clean, look after the kids and all that kind of stuff. And all you do is just show up after work, put your feet up, you've done your 2 pence worth at work today and blah, 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 and you're bringing zero value to the equation. At some point, your missus is going to go, hey, you don't bring any value to this situation, so I don't need you. And this is where we've seen the rise of female empowerment. Now, I'm not against empowering women, but I also understand why a lot of them have done it. It's because they can't find reliable men. Ladies, let me know down below if you agree with me. There aren't many reliable men out there. And as a result of that, women are having to step up. And I don't blame you. And I salute you for doing that. But let's flip it on the other side. Women, let me talk to you because you're not getting away with this. Let me talk to you. If you right now are in a relationship with a man and that man comes home from work and let's say for argument's sake, you don't cook. You don't look after him. You don't help with the kids. You don't do much yourself. You just but the man starts to realize that he can do it all himself. Then he's also going to go, well, what do I need you for? And that's why a lot of men nowadays, and again, I'm just being honest because I like to be on both sides. I'm not bashing men. I'm not bashing women. I like to be neutral. In my opinion, there's a lot of men out there who, I'm sorry, they're high value men. Like, I'm blowing my own trumpet here. I'm a high value man. I provide. I can make money. I'm business minded. I'm entrepreneurial. I work out. I look after myself. I'm a protector. I make money. I can cook. I can clean. I can look after my own kids. I can pretty much do every single thing that needs to be done for me and my family. I can do it all on my own. So I'm a person of high value. So if you're going to be with me, you're going to have to bring something to that equation to complement that situation. Otherwise, I'm not actually going to see what value you bring to the equation. Now, that could be as simple as bringing me peace, bringing me balance, bringing me a safe space. It doesn't mean you need to clean. I pay my cleaner to do that or whatever. It doesn't matter. But what I'm trying to say is, what are you actually bringing to the equation? Because if you're bringing me more stress, if you bring me more drama, at some point, I'm going to go, why am I even with you? You're not bringing any value to this equation whatsoever. So there's a lot of men out there who are in that situation. The woman isn't bringing any value to the situation. So he's going, well, what? I've sod it. I might as well be on my own. And that's the same with women. Some women are going, I might as well be on my own. So my point is, in relationships, we complement each other. We don't complete each other. You both got to bring something to the equation. Now, I don't care if you disagree with me. You're more than entitled to have your opinion on this. I'm just telling you from my perspective. And the bottom line is, we've all got individual needs, but we've also got collaborative needs. And as a relationship, you've got couple goals, right? They call them couple goals. Fine. You've got needs that need to be met as a couple. But you should also be respectful of each other's individual needs. For example, I'm the kind of person who, whilst I'm great at being out there, I can come across as quite an extrovert and all that kind of stuff. Actually, a lot of the times I'm quite introvert. My team know this. My family know this. There's times where I just want to be left alone. I just want to be on my own. I love my own company at times. I just love being on my own because I'm so much out there in the public eye and talking to people all the time and dealing with stuff and on social media and this and that, blah, blah. There's so much noise around me. Sometimes I just want to sit alone. And it might sound harsh, but sometimes I come home after doing an event or something or whatever it might be. I just want to sit quietly. I don't want to talk to anyone. I literally don't want to talk to anyone. And that's because I need to decompress. That's one of my individual needs. Now, that needs to be respected, in my opinion, by a partner, right? If you're with someone, they need to respect that. But it goes both ways. You also have to respect their individual needs. It's very, very important. So get to know each other. It's super, super important. Get to know each other's love languages, right? You can go and do it online. It's a free test called the 5 love languages, okay? There's 5 love languages. I can't remember what they all are. I think there's words of affirmation, physical touch, gifts, quality time, and acts of kindness. Okay, these are the 5 love languages. And we've all got a primary and secondary one. And you've got to figure out what that person's love language is. Okay, so for example, if your love language, your personal love language is words of affirmation, so say nice things to me and touch me, physical touch, you're going to be stroking your partner's hair and telling them you're beautiful, you're amazing, blah, blah, blah. But that's the way you like to receive love, not them. Their love language might be quality time and gifts. So whilst you're there stroking your woman's hair and saying, oh, baby, you're so beautiful, because that's how you like to receive love, she's like, spend time with me, fool, and buy me shit. That's what she said. But that's her love language, quality time and gifts. So you must learn individual needs, but you also have collaborative needs. And I think if you can establish the collaborative needs and the individual needs, more relationships will do really, really well. Okay? So, Dr. Phil, eat your heart out. Yeah, I need my own talk show. Guys, let me know down below if you think Jessen needs his own talk show. I should have my own talk show. What do you think? Let me know. Right, last few questions and then we're done. Sorry, it's a super long episode this time. I appreciate you being with me. If you're just tuning in, welcome. If you're watching on the replay, I appreciate you. Comment down below. Let me know you're here. Do it now as well, by the way, while I'm reading out the next question. Can you like the page, like this video, sorry. Can you subscribe to my YouTube channel? It'll mean the most to me. Could you also hit the notification bell so you get notified every single time I go live as well? That would mean a lot to me. Thank you. And could you also share this video with someone who might need to hear some of the advice on here? I've dropped some really, really, really cool nuggets here, and I'd love you guys to look at that, okay? Question 9. Okay. Another relationship one. How do you support your partner's personal growth and pursue your own growth in a relationship? So it comes back down to what I just said. You've got to have individual needs and you've got to support your partner's needs as well. It's so, so important. Now, I'm a big believer in relationships that if you don't grow together, you grow apart. It's just how it is, okay? If you don't grow together, you grow apart. It's fact, I'm afraid, okay? So why am I telling you this? Understand what journey it is that your partner's on, but you also have to take time out to align your partner. You've got to tell your partner, this is what I'm doing, this is my journey, this is where I'm going. Now, if you're fortunate enough to be with someone who's on the same journey as you, happy days. But it doesn't mean that they have to be. It just means there needs to be a common mutual respect that, hey, that's your path and this is my path. And if you can be part of each other's paths, even if it's just to support your partner on their path, then things will work out a lot. But if you feel like your partner's pulling against you because they don't agree with what you're doing, then you're not going to feel very supported. And that's when relationships fall apart. So I think it's super important that you support each other on this journey, but it comes down to communication. You must communicate with each other. It's very, very important. Okay, it's a great question. Last two questions real quick. The question is, if you could instantly gain one new skill or talent, what would it be and why? How do you think it would change your life? What an interesting question. I don't need to acquire any more skills or talents. I am God. No, I'm just kidding. Please don't get upset with me for using the word God. Like, I am God, but I'm not God. I'm just joking. Anyway, moving on. So, do you know what? That is an interesting question. What skill, if I could acquire a new skill or talent? I would have to say, if I could in an instant acquire a skill or a talent, it would be a healing skill. Now, when I say healing, it comes from my background as a nurse. Many of you who follow me will know I used to be a psychiatric nurse. I'm a nurse at heart, okay? And I've always been a healer. I've always wanted to help people. I've always wanted to look after people. But there are so many paradigms to healing on different levels: emotional, spiritual, physical pain. If I could get a new skill right now, it'd be one that I could wave a magic wand and heal anyone at any time with any issue going on. It's like a superpower. If I was able to heal people from physical, emotional, spiritual pain, like with a click of a finger, that's a skill I'd like to have. And how would it change my life? It would give my life even more meaning and impact. I would genuinely feel like I'm bringing more love, harmony, and peace into the world, because the world's a pretty broken place. And it's not all broken, but it is quite broken. And there's a lot of pain out there. Physical, emotional, spiritual, financial, all sorts. So if I could have that superpower, just click my fingers where I could actually heal everybody, then I would. I know I do a lot of it anyway with a lot of the things that I do, but I don't think I have enough impact. So maybe you guys can help me have more impact by sharing this video, liking the video, subscribing to the page and hitting the notification bell. Why? Because that helps me get my message out to more people. So thank you, whoever asked that question. What a great question. Last question, and we're going to wrap this up. As a professional, how do you prioritize and make impactful decisions in your daily work? So I'm a big believer in doing the things that matter and focusing on high-level tasks. So even this morning, I had a meeting with my team and a group of people, and we had a conversation that, why am I getting dragged into little tasks? And the reason I'm saying that to you is it's not high value for me. Now, I'm not saying that I'm arrogant and I'm not capable or I'm above doing all the grassroots stuff. What I'm saying is I didn't get to where I am right now to go backwards. That's why I have a team around me, I have other people around me, okay? But if I'm having to roll up my sleeves and get stuck in down at grassroots again, then I'm going backwards. So for me, I've got to the stage in my career right now where all I do is I focus on high value tasks to move projects along. So sometimes that could be just 2 hours of work. Sometimes it could be a whole day of work. Like, the other day I pulled 18 hours or something I pulled, and I had to do it because things needed to get done. They were all high value tasks that I needed to move along. But what I'm trying to say is that for me to prioritize my day, it's really important that I focus on high value tasks. Now, there are lots of high value tasks in different areas of your life. So here's what I would say to you. Look at the different areas of your life: personal, professional, financial, okay? And prioritize high-value tasks in those areas. So for me, for example, personal, I prioritize time with my family. Very, very important, especially my kids, okay? My young boys, they're growing up, the family's growing up. I'm trying to spend as much time as I can with them, okay? The next thing I prioritize in my personal life is my health, my well-being. I go to the gym in the morning every single day, apart from on a Sunday. More than likely, I will spend time with the family or whatever it may be. But I do my best to go 5 to 6 times a week, at least, minimum. It's one of my things. I have to do it, okay? So it's prioritizing. High-value task for me. Why? Because if I'm in good health, if I'm of sound mind, if I'm feeling on top of the world, I'm going to show up better in my professional life. So then I prioritize high value tasks in my business. What projects do I need to move along? What things do my team need from me to move the projects along? What advice do I need to give? What strategic decisions do I need to make? And then finally, in the financial situation is what high level tasks do I need to focus on to bring more money in and manage the money that we've already got? These are my 2 high priority tasks. And I just chunk them up. But you've got to find what works for you. And often we find ourselves doing all the things that don't actually matter. So if you're feeling stuck right now and you're unsure what to prioritize, here's what I advise you do. Brain dump absolutely everything out of your head on a bit of paper that you need to get done. And then I want you to traffic light system them and go, right, what needs to be done right now? What can wait and what can be done later on? Or what can I just bin off completely? And if you can do that, happy days. It's that whole paradigm, isn't it? That urgent and important versus important and urgent, that whole matrix. I'm not going to go into it right now. You can Google that. But using that paradigm massively, massively helps. Okay? So I think, my friends, that is it for Ask Jessen Anything. That is a long episode, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I have enjoyed it. It's turned into a bit of a relationship show today, but I hope you got value from all of my answers. And look, it gives me pleasure to answer these questions because I genuinely feel that I am a wealth of knowledge. And I say that because I've been through a lot of and experienced a lot of life, and I'm only 18 at the moment. Okay. Oh dear. Anyway, my point is I've experienced a lot, and I have from a very young age. Okay. I do believe I'm probably wise beyond my years, but you know what? That's my blessing. That's the gift God has bestowed upon me, and it's not mine to keep. So if I can be a beacon of light in your life, if I can share a pearl of wisdom with you that massively transports you from where you are right now to where you want to be, that's my purpose. That's my job. It's why I'm here. The only ask I ask of you is that you implement advice that you're given. Because at the end of the day, my only reluctance around doing these shows is that free advice is worth every penny, as they say, right? When people don't pay, they don't pay attention. So please, if anything I've said on this video has resonated with you in any way, do me a favor after you've watched this video. Stop for 5 minutes and implement at least one thing. That could be sending someone a text message based on some of the relationship stuff I've said. That could be putting an email out, putting a social media post out about what it is that you do in business. Anything. Just stop after this video for 5 minutes and do one thing. Because if you can move that needle forwards just a 0.5% or whatever every single day, before you know it, you're in a much, much better place. All right. So I appreciate you. Thank you for watching Jessen's Ask Me Anything. If you're not doing so already, please make sure, look, before you leave, one last thing. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you get notified when I go live. And one more, share it. Share this video with people, please. People need to hear this stuff. All right. Just do it for me. Okay? That's all I'm asking for. Okay. I don't want anything else. Just share it on your social media channels. Tag me on Instagram, on social media, wherever you are when you're doing it so I can share it to my platform as well and share it to my followers so you get some eyeballs on you as well. Just share, tag, share the video with as many people as you can because somebody might be benefiting from all of the knowledge. And if you've got a question that you might want to ask me on the next one, let me know down below and hopefully we can hook you up. So I appreciate you guys who are watching live. I love you. Mwah. For those of you watching on a replay, I love you too. Peace out.
You've been listening to the Mind Over Money podcast with Jessen James. Don't forget to subscribe and follow on all the channels, links in the show notes. Please also leave a review and visit www.jessenjames.com to find more resources on how to create the life you deserve.